Hey, yeah. Woo. Yeah. Hey, goddamn. Yeah. Hey, look. Sheesh. Goddamn. Look. I got all the badges in my rolly bezel. They be asking where I got it. You can't block the magic. You ain't.
What's up, folks? Your boy MMG Smurf here, tuning in. Today we are here to talk about pretty much what we do every day: blockchain gaming, DeFi, and specifically today, Axie Infinity and some new updates that they have to the game as far as earnings with SLP, earnings with AXS. So both of these are being updated as far as the earnings and how they go on Axie Infinity. So this is a new update that just occurred this morning. So we're trying to bring this to you nice and fresh. I'm going to transition over to my other window here. We're actually going to check out my lappy toppy. Oops, I'm trying to figure out how to plug in. Usually I have this boy plugged in. Let's do that. Great. Oh. So before we actually check out the game itself and the update, we're going to do the update and then we're going to cover the game. But before we do that, I want to check out the market for SLP itself, just see how SLP is doing today on the market. Now it's taken a little bit of a dive from the 34 cents or 30 something. I think its high was around 34 cents. But the entire market took that dive. SLP, of course, was climbing during that market capitulation, we could say. Currently, so SLP was around, I mean, let's see where it dropped to. I don't have to get the guess. I'm like, what did it drop to last night when I saw it? Yeah, around 16 cents or so. We saw for a bottom recently. And we're up to went to 21 cent high today. So back up already. And a lot of this is due to the way that they're doing with this system. And so I know, like, when you hear initially that SLP, we're going to go through this thing. We're going to go through this. So why is SLP, why does the chart look like this? It was going down. You know, maybe you were fine with the earnings and this and that, but let's look into the update to Axie Infinity today. Also, at this point in the stream, I should say a few things. None of this stuff is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. This is an informative cryptocurrency and gaming stream where we play games and we get things funded in esports via blockchain and gaming and streaming. You know, everything that we do today, including the stream and stuff like that, is going on something with blockchain and it's earning us something. So welcome, and if you want to know more about anything, feel free to ask in the comments or in the chat, whatever. But Axie Infinity today, they have an update. So it says Axie Arena Season 18 update. Number one on the updates for Axie Infinity is that the seasons are going to be increased by 50% longer than they previously were. I can't, I feel like they were like a month and a half or so maybe, and so maybe it's like a 3-month season. With the top 1,000 players on the leaderboard, maybe it's not. Maybe it was less than that. We got to check into that. But the top 1,000 players on the leaderboard will earn AXS. And so they've also adjusted the SLP earning mechanisms by having the SLP cap for adventure mode to 50 SLP a day. So that's the daily SLP earning ratio. So that's not to say that you can't level up your Axies and continue. I believe you can still go with experience points and stuff on your Axies if you're just battling it in adventure mode. So they become that much stronger, get the stuff done quicker for you. But as far as earning that SLP in adventure mode, it has been halved. So you can imagine whatever you were previously being able to get as your maximum, it's in half now. So to do this, they've reduced the bonus for the claiming rewards. So bonus SLP has reduced from 50 to 25 SLP, and the PvP SLP. This is another thing where, in the title, of course, title things like, well, let's destroy Axie. I don't think it's going to destroy Axie Infinity. Actually, I think it's really bullish for Axie Infinity and for the SLP token. Reasons for that, I think this is very similar to something that we saw on DLive.tv with the BTT token. So there was a time on DLive.tv where BTT earnings were really high. It was like over a few thousand BTT that you could earn, a percent APR, APY that you could earn, and it was slowly decreasing. And I was telling people it was slowly decreasing. And then all of a sudden they made a big shift where they like halved everything. People were upset and this and that, and they said that they were going to be like keeping a large portion of it to pay out their team. And I made my statement that this is probably bullish for the project, and the fact that not so many people are able to just sell it onto the market, especially people that don't care about the token, versus the project allocating it, being able to allocate it toward different things. So pumping the price so they have to sell less. And we're seeing this with Axie Infinity. At least this is what they're going for with this update. They're attempting to slow down the pace of SLP going out to people so that the price of SLP raises. This is like the exact opposite of what the United States government is doing with our currency, where they're actually inflating the amount of currency out there. They're shoving out more and more, like 45% more of the currency. So you can imagine if SLP was, if Axie Infinity was like, yo, we're looking at this chart. This is like a really good economics lesson right here. Let's see what Axie Infinity did. They were looking at this chart. They said we got a lot more people playing the game. We had a server issue, so that messed up with our servers and stuff like that. And then a lot more people were finally able to play the game. One up. And then what happened once a lot more people were able to play the game? A lot more people started selling SLP. And grinding, and bots are earning SLP and all this other crazy crap. And so if a lot more people are earning SLP, a lot more people are able to just dump SLP because people need to sell SLP to get their earnings. And that's fine. The system is made for that. But if too many people are doing it, like it's just like way more SLP being minted and just sold versus how much is being burned out of rotation. So the United States, again, like as a country that, you know, has a currency that's kind of like the world currency that does this, United States also burns our currency. They take it out of rotation. Usually we do this for there's different reasons we do this. A large portion of this is done just because, you know, the age of the money, or sometimes they take some of it out because previous issuances of money had copper in them or silver in them. And so let's take that back in because we've been taking them. So things like that. But there's a bunch of different reasons why money gets rotated out. Slash burn from actual currency. So Axie Infinity's thinking, you know, how do we do that for ourselves in a better sense? And that's what they're doing right now. And so we can see the adjustment of that at this very bottom here. It was going down, and here's the adjustment, and then we had a spike up. And so what this means is that over time, your purchasing power with SLP is going to increase. So instead of needing 50 SLP, or 100 SLP a day, to equal, what would that equal, like $30? Maybe you'll need 25 SLP to equal $30, and 50 SLP equals $60. That type of stuff is possible when the chart starts reversing direction, going way above this, because there's less of it being minted, more of it being removed from the market. And that's what they're going for, at least. So hopefully that's what we see. I was mentioning the United States dollar, so USD index, or the DXY is what you call that chart. And so we just looked at Axie and how they reversed things. USD has been actually on the little W pattern in the last few days, and so we might face some Bitcoin resistance there. Like Bitcoin the market might reverse a little bit. So this has been the year issue, is that we keep doing these lower lows and dragging down lower. And so we get these spike ups, but then traditionally we've been going down lower and lower each time. And so when we look at this on the year to date, we got this big low, and so we're trying to spike up, and if we don't spike above this 92.3, which we're just about testing, then that's about our high, and then we usually dip back down. So this is about our high for the year. So this is the DXY potentially at its high right now, if I was looking at the chart. When we break this thing out on a larger scale, we could see where, like, in comparison to Axie, they would potentially need to do something to flip things around for the currency, because, on a much larger time scale, we have a very similar chart to what Axie Infinity just went through over a 2-month period. Axie just did this on a 2-month period. This is the United States over 3 years. And right now it's on this little uptick. Looks very similar. However, at this point in time, I would be more bullish on SLP token than the USD, just because of the way that it's being utilized. Now, maybe the United States will come up with a whole bunch of different ways to utilize that dollar and get it burned up, get people into loans and crazy crap. I think the housing market is doing a fine job at that. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, back into these updates. Don't want to get too far off topic. So, last thing that we cover with this, other than the halving of all of the SLP rewards, the daily SLP, your maximum, the bonus rewards, halved. Other than that, PvP is really being incentivized in this new season of Axie Infinity. So the top 1,000 players are getting a lot of AXS. It's over 200,000 USD in AXS. I wish it was in something else, but whatever. 200,000 USD in AXS. It's I guess it is. It's an AXS. So that's at the time right now, I guess they're saying. So with AXS at $40, let's see what AXS is actually at right now. Let's see if that was bullish for AXS. I just closed out CoinGecko, but let's go back in there. It's at 40. I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be at like $44. That's kind of bullish. So it's actually at $44. So that's more than 200,000 on the table for these top 1,000 players. So a lot of incentive to become a top 1,000 Axie Infinity player. That's a lot of money. Economics adjustment. We've made some adjustments to the SLP earning game. This is basically the stuff that I was saying. And then they got some PvE adjustments. Although that's the whatchamacallit thing. Basically, with the PvP, what we really want to cover next is the PvP portion, because this is just kind of a breakdown of what we just talked about in terms of charts and stuff like that. Arena for all is what we wanted to go down to, really. This portion covers that the Axie is now going to be focusing more on the player versus player portion of things if you want to earn more. So there's still going to be earnings potential, nice earnings potential in adventure mode. But of course, that's been halved so that when you play those PvP battles versus an actual player and you win those battles, you earn that much more SLP. So that's where the majority of the SLP is being focused now. All these charts for earnings and stuff like that are going to have to be redone because they've redone the system and focused it on SLP for PvP battles. I think this is good. The higher that you raise in your rank, the more that you're going to be rewarded in SLP. And now, of course, I'm sure people feel some type of way about that because people are like, oh, my Axies aren't as good. I'm never going to earn as much as this. Well, honestly, if you paid $1 million for your Axie, then maybe you should be earning more, quite honestly. For this really strong Axie that just kills everything in one hit, probably be earning more anyways because you're winning more battles. And that was a big commitment. But whatever, it's a pay-to-play system in that sense, or a pay-to-level up. But aside from that, aside from people complaining about, oh, this competition, it's competition of a tough Axie. Yes, it's been bought and made tough. But other than that, this starts to balance out a system when you incentivize climbing the ranks like this. And this is something that they also mention here. Money Match Gaming has also done something like this in our Discord arcade, where you can play Smash Bros and earn tickets. And at the lowest level, you earn 1 ticket per match. You win the match, you earn 1 ticket. But as you rank up and face more difficult opponents, you earn more tickets per match. This incentivizes players to rise the ranks and not just stay at a lower level and farm for 1 per match, or they have to play way more matches to get it. It incentivizes them to rise the ranks, maybe play less matches, but earn that much more, and they're out of everybody else's hair. And the lower level players get to play each other and level up, and you actually get to have fun playing the game and earning your money as you level up, and eventually, you start to go up, you get skill, and everybody starts to level up that way. And the system, it works out. It's a better system, and they've got a lot more players that do it here. They're working on their esports section. They're working on allowing players to just match up with each other for fun matches. In this, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but in this, they also mention things about they mention scholars and how they like this this whole type of mechanism for scholars, and how it incentivizes scholars to learn more about the game, and not just, I'm just gonna like grind by pushing button. You become a skilled person who learns about the game, and learns more about how to utilize the items within the game, etc., and the system, the SLP that you do earn, etc. So they mentioned that, and then they also talk about land, and how you can use resources and whatnot to level up an Axie, etc. They don't go very deep into it, but they do mention it there. And at this time, when they're mentioning that, along with this update, they're talking about land with the update at the same time. For me, I'm like, yo, when they push these new servers, I don't know. I feel like land is probably, it's been like they had like a year since the beta. I feel like land, we might be getting another a beta test of land coming soon. We'll see. Hopefully at least land holders, but we'll see. Anyways, I know the title of the video was a little bit more doom and gloom, where it's like, will this destroy Axie? And my conclusion is, I don't think it's going to destroy Axie. This chart right here is the number of Axies that the average holder has. So average Axies per holder has been going down, which means, the cost of Axies going up, Axie holders selling them to more people, but it's not, the price is going up for Axies though. So it's balancing out, and they just want to see the same thing happen for SLP. Obviously, AXS is doing just fine. So again, my conclusion for Axie, I think this is actually really bullish for Axie. I did want to try a clickbait type of title today. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I want to keep it kind of short. I'm going to trim this down. Join us in a few minutes. We'll be back live and playing some Axie Infinity.